Good morning everybody and welcome to Simply Made Saturday with me, Helen Armstrong from Panda Props Crafting Joyful Moments. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Runslow in Cheshire here in the United Kingdom. Today is Saturday the 14th of March. Yeah, can't believe we're halfway through the month already. And I'm going to be using the new March product of the month set from Stampin' Up this morning to make our Simply Made card. It is a very much a spring set, as it says in the name, Notes of Spring, and you can get this for £5 once if you spend over £70 on an order. You can add this to your basket for an extra £5. Personally, I think it's worth the £5 just for 3 sentiments, but I'm really enjoying the grass that we have here, and I'm just going to play with it. I've not even looked at it. I've not used it yet, so today is the first day. Let's get started. Just going to move those out of the way. I'm going to bring in a piece of cardstock, and I'm going to start with the grasses. Now, in order to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to what we call season the stamp, just to take off a little bit of that grease and what have you that they sometimes come with. Yeah, probably not the best idea. I've just put moisturiser on my hands, but let's have a look. Just ensuring I'm using the right size stamping block. No, I don't know why I picked that one up because it's the same size. Okay. Right, so first of all, I'm going to stamp it in a very dark mossy meadow, but what I might do is stamp off a little bit. So let me just quickly grab one of our sheets. As usual, completely organised. Okay, so I'm just going to put that underneath. Right, okay, let's get started. I'm just going to ink up the stamp. I'm just going to stamp off here. I'm just going to do a, oh, I like that, okay. Second impression is what we call it here in the stamping world. I'm going to clean off my stamp. Just got to be a chamois in there to clean it off, and I'm going to add old olive, I think. I've left a little bit of a gap in the middle for, so yeah, leaving a little bit of gap in the middle to be able to stamp one of the animals. If you stamp over the top with a second impression in a slightly lighter ink, it gives a feeling of depth. That's what I'm going for. Okay, I'm going to bring in the other, I think there is another, yep, another smaller glass stamp. And let's have a play with that one. So I'm going to find my really small stamping block, which that should fit on perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to go in first with the mossy meadow again. I didn't season the stamp. Let's see how well this works. That's okay. Stamp that off. Rub it on my hand a little bit. Just, that's all I'm doing, just rubbing it on my hand just to season it. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm going to go in with a dark, just slightly darker at the side here. And one more. Just slightly changing the angle. And then let's clean it off. And we'll go in with the old olive again. And I'm going to actually stamp it over the top and then first impression. And it just brings a little bit of depth. Okay, so far we've used 2 ink pads, Old Olive and Mossy Meadow, to create a little bit of grass in the background, well, on the front of the card. Okay, let's clean that stamp off before I do anything else. This one, let me just get the page again. I think I might actually go for the duck. I quite like the duck. Let's see. I'm going to actually stamp the outline of the duck first. Again, going in and season it on my hand. It is weird how that works, just rubbing it on your hand can make a difference. Okay, so I'm going to come in with an outline first. And I think I'm going to go in just with black. Maybe the black's going to be too heavy. Let's stamp off. Just stamp it on. That's a bit better. Black itself, I think, was a little bit heavy. Yeah, but with doing the second impression, I think that's worked okay. And then this is Stampin' Up do a good thing where they give you the infill of a stamp with a little bit of texture. Now, I couldn't decide this morning what colour I was going to go for, and then I picked up Darling Duckling, and I thought, well, let's go for it. It is a duck. But again, I think I'm going to try the second generation, I think. Let's have a look. Sorry if my head's in the way now. Just try and turning this round so I get it reasonably centered. Okay. No, I actually quite like that. That's quite nice. Right, okay. Let's close that stamp pad off. So we've got our duck in. And all we're going to do now is to put our duck in a little bit of water. So I'm going to grab a brush. And let's start off with... I'm going to actually go in, because we've got quite... what's the word? Sort of muted colours. I'm thinking maybe a bit of Lost Lagoon, which has a hint of green in it. So I'm just going to put our duck in a little bit of water. So it's standing ready to go in the pond. Okay. Now, I've not framed this very well. I should have really done this a little bit better. Things are just dropping off the side of my table as usual. Strange enough, though, I have actually cleaned it for the first time. I did clear it before starting this. Right, and then we're just going to pick up a little bit of Old Olive and add in, just bring in that green a little bit more at the sides. Okay, so we have our basic picture at the bottom. And then we can add a little bit of I'm going to go for Pool Party. I normally go for Pool Party when it comes to a little bit of sky. So I'm going to stick with that and go for Pool Party. So again, my blending brush. Again, I'm just checking at the side. Do I like the colour? Am I happy with it? Take a little bit off. And then I'm just going to come in very, very lightly. It is just very, very light. All you're doing is just very, very lightly. There's no pressing. It's just me literally going over with the brush. Got a little bit in the corners. A little bit more depth in the corners. A little bit. So it's just bringing in a little bit of sky. Okay. again, this is just a very quick and simple card using one stamp set. And we have got one of the sentiments in here is happiest birthday wishes. So we're going to use that. That's our sentiment again. I'm just scrolling across. I might actually pick it up in the mossy meadow. So we'll do my usual. I will stamp to ensure that's better. Okay, I'm going to stamp it off to the side here. Right, just making sure when I come in that I am. You can hear lots of things dropping. Happiest birthday wishes. Okay, and that is it. That is a quick and simple card using different techniques. So we're doing first and second generation of stamping and some blending and just a little bit of ink in the background. So with some inks and a stamp set, you can create a very simple card. I hope you liked it. All right, take care everybody, and always remember, craft your joy. Happy Saturday.